Hi everyone, Jenny from Prado's Projects here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a thread spool and bobbin holder. I have been taking all this downtime to actually reorganize my entire craft room, and it has been a daunting task, let me tell you what. I do have a lot of stuff because I do dabble in different crafts. It's not just one thing or the other. I also cosplay, so there's a lot of stuff in my craft room that I needed a place for. The saying goes, a place for everything and everything in its place. I really think that that's a big deal here because in the past, it was very much, okay, I'm gonna find something, take a half an hour to find whatever I need, and then it's going to sit there while I'm working, and it's not going to find its way back in forever because it doesn't have a place to go. So I wanted to organize so that my crafting didn't take as long as it used to. That's a big thing because you spend less time searching for things and you also spend less time putting stuff away. So it's more time spent on your craft. One of the last areas that I needed to organize is my sewing table back here, which is a beaut. The issue there is that all my drawers were just crammed with stuff. I ended up throwing spools in different drawers, didn't really care where things were until it came time to actually need that kind of stuff. So it was very daunting. I didn't want to open any of the drawers, but I figured this has to happen. I gotta tackle it sometime. So here I am, tackling it. Just so you see what it actually looked like before organization, or BO if you will. Maybe not. Before organization, this is what it looked like. Things were just crammed into drawers, things were everywhere. Thread was in drawer 1, 2, 3. Why? I don't know why I did it. It was just one of those things, out of sight, out of mind. Throw it in there and be done with it. And then next time I wanted to go to sew, it was very, I don't want to touch it because I can't find anything. So now everything's in its place because of my thread holder. Just so you know, this thing is super cheap to make. I looked online to find a good one. Yes, there are wooden ones, there's plastic ones that you can buy, but those were so much more expensive than what it could cost to actually make my own. So I was like, I'm kind of penny pinching right now with everything going on. So I figured I'm just gonna make one on my own with things that I have in the house. Cut to my dollar store finds. I actually bought a bunch of these bins at a dollar store, Dollar Tree, either one, for $1. This particular one actually came in a pack of 3 for $1, so that's cool. I use these all over the house. I actually use them a lot in my bathroom drawers and other drawers just to kind of compartment things so that it's a lot easier to find. I also had a bunch of skewers from a cookout that we had a couple years ago. We're still going through these. One pack is like 100 skewers, I think, or maybe 50, I'm not sure. I don't have the package anymore, but these are super easy to use for this because you get 4 rods from one skewer. Basically, one rod would hold, which you'll see in the video in a second, 1 spool of thread and 1 bobbin. So you get 4 of those out of one of these. And then you just need some hot glue to put everything together, and it's actually super sturdy, which I'll kind of show you in a little bit as well. So without further ado, let's make this thing. First things first, I ended up mapping out the first row of my skewers by marking the end of a skewer with a Sharpie, putting a spool in place, and positioning the skewer where it needed to be, Sharpie side down. This made a faint mark. I repeated that along the top row, and next I grabbed a piece of scrap paper and marked where each of those dots were, then hole punched them out. The second row was mapped out like the first, but on top of the paper so I could hole punch the second row out. Then I transferred all of the positions to the bottom of the bin with a Sharpie through the holes. Once this was complete, I measured how tall the skewers should be. I made mine tall enough to fit 1 spool and 1 bobbin on 1 skewer, mainly because my drawer is not deep enough for anything taller. But if your drawer is deep enough for clearance, then go taller, make it 2 spools high.
Cut as many skewers as you need based on this height. I ended up using 6 total skewers to make 24 at the height I needed. The rest of the skewers can be used in other crafting projects or to make some mean shish kebabs, whatever you prefer. Next, you'll add a blob of hot glue to each mark you've made, then push and twist the skewer into the center of the blob. I ended up doing 1 row at a time. I'd suggest using a can of air to freeze your hot glue if you have it. I had to hold each skewer for about a half of a minute for the glue to cool and set. Try to make the skewers stand as straight as possible. They end up being sturdy, but are still able to flex, so it's okay if they're not perfectly straight.
Okay, there you have it. This is our finished thread spool and bobbin holder. Super simple, right? Hopefully. Super cheap as well, which I like. And it's actually pretty sturdy. You can move these, nothing's popping off. I think it's because the hot glue is melding to the plastic, which is good for this kind of project. If anything does pop off, you just put more hot glue and stick the skewer back and it'll be fine. Again, this holds 24 spools and bobbins, which is great. If you have a deeper drawer, you can go a little bit taller and have a couple spools on top of each other, but unfortunately my drawer only holds this height. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, hopefully inspired you to start organizing or further organize your spaces. And like I mentioned, I will have more videos up showing you my craft room, showing you some more organizational tips and tricks that I've used, and hopefully it helps you out a little bit more. If you enjoyed today's video, please like the video and subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. You know, what are you making? What are you working on right now? What kind of organizational things would you like to see in future videos? What kind of tutorials would you like to see in future videos? I am a cosplayer, I craft, I have a Cricut, so any of those things go. So yeah, I will get to them as soon as possible, and hopefully you guys have a great day. See you later.